Kate, this first question is for you, and it's really around the skills to highlight for job hunting. We've talked about business analysis being a very hot skill. There's lots of demand for it. And so some of the questions that we got around this were, what are the top skills that business analysis professionals should have? How should you highlight them on LinkedIn? And then what recommendations do you have to make sure that those skills get highlighted?
Yeah, great questions, everyone. So a couple of things to note. I just want everybody to be aware of how popular business analysis is right now. So even just for us at Apex, we saw a 23% increase in requests from 2020 to 2021 for business analysis openings. And we're on pace to have more this year. So huge increase in the skill set, definitely a good place to be. In terms of what clients are looking for, I boil it down to a few things. The first is experience working with agile teams or in an agile environment with agile frameworks, whether that's Scrum, Kanban, SAFe, or another scaling framework. That's very important for business analysts. And along that line, on that note, experience writing strong user stories. We get that a lot from customers I need folks that understand the components of a user story. They understand how to define acceptance criteria. They're very strong at that. The next bucket is experience working with agile tools. So Jira, Azure DevOps, anything in that arena has become really important. And then finally, data analysis skills. So we've seen a lot of blending of skill sets, and I have customers requesting more often than not that folks have some type of data analysis skills, whether that's writing SQL queries, creating a Tableau dashboard, and some of our customers do require advanced skills in that area as well. So I think that's kind of what I see from a demand standpoint when it comes to skills.
Shannon, Erica, do you want to add anything to this one?
Yeah, so one skill in demand, not to miss out on communicating, is just the virtual communication, the new worlds we live in. So anything you do to drive collaboration, help drive engagement of your stakeholders virtually, dropping in the specific tools that you're using, whether that's Microsoft Teams, Zoom, Discord, Slack, including just what you're doing to help drive some of these things, because that's a key pain point and the skill folks are looking for. How can we do all of this virtually and do it effectively? So including some of the specifics around your utilization of some of the features like whiteboards, polls, breakout rooms, think about how am I doing these things differently and be sure to share that. And when it comes to LinkedIn, my favorite tip is to get others to speak to your skills on your behalf. So take, for example, a stakeholder that you've really supported in this virtual environment. You've delivered a product or project successfully for them. Get them to write a recommendation on your behalf. Or knowing that LinkedIn gives all of us a blog and a forum for writing, you can even put together a publication around the 4 things I've learned to communicate effectively in this virtual world. So those are some of the things you can think about with LinkedIn.
Yeah, those are great skills, and highlighting that you've worked remotely is probably also, you should add that on your LinkedIn profile, because that's a skill set, working remotely. So let's talk a little bit about soft skills. We had a question about that. Do you have recommendations for demonstrating and highlighting soft skills? And what soft skills are key these days? Kate?
Yes, so I think in business analysis and project management, soft skills are often more important than anything else. And honestly, my customers say that all the time, that ultimately it comes down to culture, to personality, to relationship building. Really, that soft skill set is what they look for. So one really easy way to do it is through recommendations on LinkedIn that are geared towards your soft skills. Mm-hmm. So if you just finished a project, completed a big milestone, know you did quality work for someone, ask them to talk about your relationship building ability, your stakeholder management skills and style, your overall communication, both written and verbal. That's an easy way to include that and get endorsements in that avenue. The other big thing that I think about quite often, because I see a lot of errors every week in resumes, for anybody that is a business analyst or a project manager, your resume has to be grammatically correct and has been, make sure that you spell check it. So I would have multiple people look at it. Maybe it's a trusted mentor, coworker, friend, spouse, partner, whoever. But I cannot tell you how many errors I see in resumes. And that is the first thing that people see and think of you. So especially if you're somebody whose job relies on strong communication, both written and verbal, you need to make sure that your resume relays that.
Oh, those are really great tips. And I think that, that really can also be the differentiator, just that spell check.
I have had managers rule out candidates simply because of errors on their resume. And basically they said, if they can't take the time to go through their resume and make sure that it's correct, like how am I going to know that when they have to submit an important status report to an executive that they're not going to do the same?
I was just reading something trending on LinkedIn last week about how more and more companies are immediately rolling out their applicant tracking system is rolling out the 50% plus of resumes that have spelling or grammatical errors. And the key piece of advice they gave in that article is we look at it so much that we might miss it, but have a peer review, right? So that's the big thing. But keep in mind, your resume won't even get seen in the first place in a lot. And this is only going to trend upwards if you have spelling. So get that peer review.
Any other thoughts on soft skills? Yeah.
So for soft skills, the big ones I think about: time management, overall passion, and just your interest in the profession. That can really help elevate you in terms of candidacy, taking initiative. So for example, if you've been part of a steering committee, if you helped form a community of practice or center of excellence, taking additional training either internally or externally to your organization, helping grow other people. So any involvement in a local IIBA chapter, as well as internally and helping to mentor others. These are the soft skills that can really help showcase you as a team player who's passionate and wants to help the organization thrive.
And I know we are going to be talking more in depth. We've got a member webinar that's coming up on July 13th. It is top resume tips from you guys, from people that who are recruiting business analysis professionals, who are coaching business analysis professionals. So for our members, this is a great benefit. It's a member exclusive, so it's free